Here's a quick video on how I automate my call note taking from Google Calendar to Notion. So I have a ton of calls. I'm these days taking back-to-back calls, and they're obviously all booked on my Google Calendar. And then I do my note taking in Notion, where basically I have a page for each note in basically a database, which is called Call Notes. I also have it in a calendar view, so I can see all the calls by day and pull up the notes and like see what we were talking about and who I met with, as well as in a list view. For each call, I want to know the title of the call, when it happened, the attendees, the category of it, like, why did I have that call? And a quick description. And then I start taking notes over here, and I'll typically like fill up a page of notes for each call. And so what I was trying to figure out is how can I automate so that every time I have a call on the calendar, a new page gets created in the Notion call taking database with all the information like the call title, the attendees, if there was a description, pull in the description automatically without me having to create it manually every time and copy paste. And so I'm using Relay for this process, super easy, and I'll show you kind of the setup. So it's a very simple trigger and action automation. It's just 2 steps. So the trigger is at the start of every event in Google Calendar. I connect to my Google Calendar, told it which calendar to look at, and literally the trigger runs at the start of every event. So literally, like, as every call on my calendar is scheduled to take place, this is when this kind of happens. And so what you'll see over here is I did set up some advanced settings, and I said only when the video has a conference link in it, run, otherwise create approval. Because sometimes I block off time on my calendar, or like it's not something that I want to take notes for. So if there's a video conference link, that means I'm meeting with someone. And so I want to create a new Notion page so I can take notes. However, if it doesn't include a meeting link, then request approval so that I can basically, so request approval, by the way, it comes in Slack. So I basically get a Slack message that says, hey, there's a calendar invite on your calendar without a link. Should we create a Notion page or not? And I just click yes or no, and then it continues on with the automation. So that's kind of how request approval works. And then I'll show you over here. What happens is, so when this happens, basically, add page to Notion database. The database I selected for pages to be added to is Call Notes. And then the name, I'm mapping the title, the name of the Notion page, I'm mapping the title from the Google Calendar. I'm also using AI to extract any information added to the event description. However, I said, please don't add call notes, because sometimes like Zoom adds like, oh, where can you find all your local phone numbers, stuff like that. I don't need that on my Notion page. And so AI is actually extracting this information and creating like a targeted description. So it's removing any like non-relevant information. I grab the attendee emails so that I always, in my Notion, I know who joined and I have their emails in there. And that's it. And so literally super simple process. Every time I have a call hit on my calendar, without thinking about it, without doing anything, an automation gets run, a new page gets created in Notion, which I can view either in this list view or in the calendar view. It has all the information that I typically look for to know about each call, and then it's just ready for me to start taking notes. And so that's how I automate this process. There's another automation I'm still working on, and I'll try to record a video once I'm done, is basically I use Fireflies to actually record the meetings. And so how do I add the Fireflies link back to this page? I'll share that in the next video. Take care, and let me know what you'd like me to cover in future videos.